Disclaimer.
The thoughts and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily the views of Tash, Becky, or Be Your Best You podcast.
Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to Be Your Best You with Tash and Becky, your go-to hangout for all things spiritual, subconscious, and downright magical. We're here to sprinkle a little mystical wisdom into your everyday life and help you level up your reality.
Picture this as your cosmic coffee date, where we chat about the unseen world, blend in some psychology vibes, and stir up the subconscious magic. Get ready to be the queen of your own reality, live a life that lights you up, and have a blast doing it.
So grab your latte or your tea and let's dive into another episode of Be Your Best You, where the mystical meets the mundane and your best life awaits.
Cheers to creating magic together.
Let's do this.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Be Your Best You with Tash.
And Becky, the guest edition, and today we have Natalie Scott on the show.
Natalie is a money mindset coach.
Yeah.
We had such a fun but informative chat. This is our first money guest that we've had on, and we were really looking forward to this because money's such a huge thing, isn't it? And money affects all of us with our limiting beliefs, and obviously it's in every area of our life, isn't it? So this conversation, we hope you'll find sparks some things in you which will help you look at money in a different way, help you see where your money beliefs came from and track them back, because Natalie gives us some interesting tasks to do, doesn't she? But also it was just a really kind of informal chat where we were sharing a lot of our own personal recollections of our childhood, which we're hoping is going to help you to go, oh my gosh, yeah, that was me, that happened with me. So we hope you enjoy, guys. Okay, so if you're the kind of woman who's doing all the healing work, all the mindset work, all the manifesting, but you still feel stuck, it's not because you're broken. It's because your nervous system and your subconscious doesn't feel safe to slow down. So we made you a free 12-minute audio experience called Return to Self, the Subconscious Reset, to turn down the noise and bring you back to your center. Grab it free in the show notes. And today we have on the show Natalie. Natalie, welcome.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi both. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so lovely to have you here. We're so excited to chat all things money because we haven't actually had a guest on about money.
No,
you're
we
our first one. So, oh my God, there's so
we
much
need
to cover.
help. Yeah.
We all need help. Natalie, could you just tell everyone a little bit about like who you are and what it is that you do?
Sure. So my name is Natalie Scott and I'm a certified money coach. I specialize in money and mindset. So more so looking at our behaviors as to why we have said relationship with money and how we can empower ourselves to have a better relationship with money and enjoying money as well. I teach it across different kind of corporations, institutions, and also universities and colleges as well. And I think it's just something that we need to talk more about. I can teach someone how to do something, but when they actually understand why they're doing it, it makes it more so of a long-standing thing. So I really enjoy teaching that.
That's so awesome.
It's so cool that you go to the universities as well, isn't it? Because we always think that about our kids, don't we? That we're just probably going to pass on what we got from our parents. So that's great that you get in there and sort it out for us.
Because even when you know, kind of, you become aware of your money beliefs and the limitations. It's really hard with your kids. You think, oh my God, I know, I shouldn't be saying that. But that's when you realize it's so deeply ingrained, which is obviously what we want to kind of really dive into here. Obviously, with the work that I do with the subconscious mind and using hypnotherapy, this is such a big topic because there's so much emotion and stories linked to money, isn't there? It's just one of the biggest things. So, oh God, I just please start talking. Start from the beginning. How do you help people with their money beliefs and really identifying how they can see what's happened and what their parents have passed down to them and what's going on in their programming?
Sure. So what I do, I'll just give you a little bit of an insight of how I actually coach, because that's how I get to understand where someone's starting point is. So I get them to write a letter, and that letter goes from their earliest memory of money to their most recent memory of money, right? So they would write, maybe at 5 years old, I remember receiving £5 from my granddad for my birthday. And any kind of moment where it pertains to them receiving money or interacting with money, they will write it down from the earliest memory to the most recent. As they're doing that, me as a coach, I will then look through that story and I can pick out the different emotions of how they felt, whether they were happy, whether they were sad, whether they were grateful, whether they wanted more, whether they felt all that wasn't enough. And then I start to look at that story and where they are today. Because they would have come to me with a pain point, would have come to me with an issue that they want me to help them overcome. But I can't get into the cognitive area until I find out your story. And it can be quite a daunting activity for many people to do, which is why I let them go away and come back the following week and I look through it and we actually go through it. And it's only till then you start to look through literally your earliest memory, you get to understand why someone is the way that they are with money. And that point, once you know why, then you can start changing it. You can start looking at forgiveness. If there's been a family member in there that, you felt like didn't do enough for you, whether that's a primary parent or that's a grandparent, whoever was your main caregiver, we start looking at forgiveness. How can we forgive that person? Because a lot of the times we can't move on from something unless we forgive and forget. Some people think, oh, I can forgive, but I can't forget. It's one and done. You have to do both. So then that might mean you have to write a letter to say that you forgive that person. You don't necessarily have to send it to them, but it's a way of you getting it out of your system, getting it out of your subconscious by writing it down. So those are some of the things that I would do with a client just to understand where their starting point is and how we can work through each prominent stage in their life that they've occurred when it comes to money. So I'll
Oh,
do that.
I love that.
Yes.
And so when you're asking them to write down those things, is it specifically related to receiving money?
No, any kind of interaction with money, anything that they remember. Because I talk to some clients, I don't know, all the way from 20 years old up to 50. So it could be your first job, getting your first paycheck. How did that make you feel? What did you spend it on? So it's just all these different prominent moments with money from the earliest memory to the most recent. It's quite an interesting activity. I've done it myself and I was just like, whoa, it kind of makes you remember, okay, why you are the way you are now. Sometimes we forget because we're just living life. We're just going through the motions. It's very rare we have moments in our life where we can just sit down and do this activity. So in the coaching, it's like giving that person a chance to actually just sit down in a quiet space and actually go through everything in fine detail.
I really want to do that
Yeah,
now as
I
well.
know.
It sounds so cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it made me think when you were talking about that, it made me think something that, because this is really interesting as well. I really struggle to think back to memories in my childhood around money, and I'm pretty sure it's a subconscious block. I'm sure my subconscious is definitely doing that because I've got such a great memory when it comes to my childhood. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of memories. I've had a lot, but money I really struggle with. But the one thing that I did remember, that came to me straight away, was that when I used to get birthday money for my birthday, I would always hold on to it. And I remember I would have my birthday money from the previous year, the
Me
next
too.
birthday, and I would always get praised.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
Tasha's such a good girl.
Yeah.
She saves.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Yeah.
spend her money, whereas my sister was the opposite. She'd
Yeah.
have it and it would be gone.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh my God, that's my scarcity mindset right there. I've got to hold on to it and I was actually praised for it as well. And that was I was like, oh God.
I can actually relate to that because I was a bit of a hoarder growing
Yeah.
up. So looking at my own childhood, I would save, pocket money, save, never really spend it. And then I got to the point where I'll just binge. I'll just buy loads of things and then I regret buying all these things. Like, why did I do that? So it's so interesting how people will praise you for being a hoarder, someone who just saves. But there's also the negative and scarcity, like the money won't come back. That's why you're holding on to it. So there's also that part that people kind of skip over. When it seems that someone's such a good saver, it's like, well, yeah, but if you're not spending the money that you're saving, then what are you saving for? So there's that too. It's interesting.
And it's so hard sometimes to enjoy your money, isn't it? And I try and say to my kids, because they're they're doing the same as what I did, holding on to it. And I'm like, just get it, enjoy your money, you'll get more. So I try and do that. But like, how do we get to enjoy our money? That's really hard, isn't it?
It's really hard, and it's something that I struggled with myself. But
Mm.
I think what really helped was separating your finances. So when you get paid, and you get paid into like account A, it's also important to have different accounts, different pots, different spaces to have your money doing different things for you. So I have a fun fund. So that's what I
Oh,
spend my money on. A certain amount goes in there every single month, and I'm not scared to spend in it because that's what it's allocated for. The problem is when we have all our money in one account and we want to have fun, we want to have treats, but then we haven't paid our bills, you haven't put money into our savings or our investments, and then you're thinking, oh gosh, I'm restricted now. I feel like I cannot have fun. So you have to separate it and put money aside. So that's what I do. And I think I've gotten to a point where it's not just for fun. Now I've got a coffee fund. I've got a presents fund. I've got so many different allocated spaces for different things because then when I spend money on said things, I don't feel guilty. And that's something I've had to do because of the hoarder mentality that's still living
mm,
in my system. It's very hard to shake it completely because you're gonna always dip back into that default setting mode because you've been that person for so long than you have been the new person you're trying to become. So you
mm.
have to have these things in place that's going to hold you accountable and just be like, Natalie, that's for that, spend it. So that's what I try
Yeah,
and do to kind of curve that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
yeah.
that was one of the things that I actually also put in place when I realized when I like first started working on the scarcity and the money mindset thing. It was really, really, I can second that, so helpful to have the different pots. And
Mm,
when you're adding into them over the year, it's like, because it's all about calming your nervous system, isn't it? Around money, it's the feeling around money. And
mm,
when I could see, like, it's there, that's fine, I've got it. So, like, for
mm,
Christmas presents and stuff, I'm like, that's fine, it's building up. I'm gonna have enough. I don't have to worry about it. And again, like when you're spending with for people like us who were hoarders, it's like helpful to calm your nerve, like practice calming your nervous system when you're making purchases as well, isn't it? Because
mm,
I deliberately started making purchases that were not, that weren't affordable to me, like I could afford them, but that pushed my boundaries a
mm.
little bit. And the whole time I was doing it, I was like becoming aware, like my heart was beating really fast and I was getting a bit sweaty, and I'm like, shh, calm down, you're all right, it's safe to spend the money. And when you
Mm,
realize that, isn't it, that you're like, wow, goes so much deeper, is even than just your thoughts. It's like your
yeah.
whole body, isn't it?
Oh,
It's really deep because it's almost like not wanting to waste money, but it's like, well,
mm,
you've put the money aside for that said purpose. So it's not wasted it. So I'm doing the penny challenge myself, and that comes to an end of January, the penny challenge. And what's so funny, I think after the penny challenge, you'll have something like £667. And I wanted to buy a bag, which is really not something I do. I wouldn't spend £600 on a bag anymore. But it's because, oh, well, I've been saving every day towards this goal and I want to buy the bag. Now, the problem is the bag's out of stock. And I'm
ah,
thinking, oh gosh, what if the bag doesn't come back in January? Because I was trying to be like, I'm gonna wait until the it's over. I'm not gonna try and just use any money that I have to buy the bag. I'm gonna wait, wait till I have the money. And now the bag's out of stock, so I keep checking every week. I was like, oh gosh. So now I'm just like, do I go on holiday with the money? And this is the thing. So I'm more of a person that will use my money for experiences over materialism. But everyone around me is like, Natalie, you work so hard. You're always like going on holidays, experience. But why don't you just treat yourself to the bag? So that's where I get a bit stuck, where it's like, oh, but I'd rather the experience
right,
over the actual said item. But then
right.
my friends are trying to be like, well, Natalie, you always go for the experience. You always use it as an excuse for spending your money on experiences when you actually want the bag. So why don't you just keep the money for the bag when it comes back in stock? So even that's something I'm still challenging myself with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 When you were talking then as well, I just could hear people, like how you grow up with these expressions, and it's like, well, you've got something to show for it. At least, when you said about the handbag,
Yeah.
like your friends, like, well, you've got something to show for it at least. Yeah, the
Yeah.
experience. But it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
The language.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Thank you very much, Mum, if you're listening.
So going back then, because obviously, like, sorry, we took you off on a tangent, but going back to how you start coaching then, so you get your clients to do this kind of go back and write the letter, and then the forgiveness as well, like writing the letter. So then how do you kind of proceed from there? How do you help them from there in terms of their mindset?
So what we would look at is language, because language is a big thing. As humans, we have more negative thoughts than we do positive ones. So a lot of that spills into our language that we use around money. So I have a lot of clients and friends that will say, oh, I'm broke, I can't afford it. You know, those kind of negative language. So we kind of turn it around, because most of the times we can afford it. We just haven't got the money for it right now, because that money is allocated for something else. So what I use is a lot of language. What can we use instead of? Because that's the first thing to help, because that's how we communicate a lot, is through how we speak about things. When we can't do something, how do we respond? A lot of people struggle with saying no, or no, I can't do that. So it's always like having to give someone 1,000 excuses as to why they can't have something or why they can't put money towards something. So I just say, if you can't say no, what other words, what other language can we use? So a lot of clients will have goals that they're doing. They're doing different things. They're trying to save £10,000 a year. They're trying to get on the property ladder, whatever it may be. So I said, don't be afraid to kind of use that when having to defend why you cannot do something. Just say, that doesn't align with my goals right now. And again, even that language, it doesn't align with my goals right now. Some people will struggle to say that because they're not used to it. They're not used to sharing with people that they come first, or their goals come first before fun. Sometimes you have to make a little bit of a sacrifice. So I am very much the trainer for, if I can't do anything, I'm just going to say no. But a lot of people can't say no. So it's just changing it around, just being honest. I can't do it because I've got this, or I've got that, or I've overcommitted to something, so I can't do that. So I think it's just helping people find alternatives to harder words that they cannot say. And I'll be honest, when you really speak to clients and you realize the reason why they have this relationship with money, this strained relationship with money, as we know, it does stem from childhood. So sometimes it will be, for instance, you came from a one-parent household, for example. So you saw your mother or your father work really, really hard, and it seems like they never had any money, but they worked really hard. And then you are now with a partner, you have a child, there's a dual income there, you both work really hard, but then you now want to take on more work than you're used to, because you're used to seeing one of your parents do that. And it's like, well, you don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. Or you might see, because you never had much with your parents or parents, now that you're earning money, you want to spend it because you've never been in a space where you just had money for yourself. So there's also that. So I think once you realize what your childhood is, what it was, until I know that, that's how I can move forward with a client. So if you come from a one-parent household, although I may not be able to empathize, because because I don't come from a one-parent household, there's certain tropes in that I could relate to. Because before I started coaching, I had to use my experience before I got accredited. So it's like looking at everybody's starting point. What kind of family life did they have? Okay, now I know what it is. Now I know how I can work with you to get you to the point of changing it. So it's hard for me to give a blanket answer because it is based on individual circumstances. But once I know what it is, then I can move forward with the client.
That makes total sense, and it's completely in alignment with the work that I do as well. You know, I don't specifically work with money, but money does actually come up a lot of the time when I'm working with clients. My main clientele is women, and it does have a massive thing, like. And it's so linked with our self-worth, like you were saying as well, when you're going back to the language type thing, where people don't like talking about money because there's so much stigma around money and who you'll become if you have money or who you talk about money. And that's like a really big blocker, isn't it? Because, you know, we can think about what happened in our childhood and the language and all the things that we were talking about, but also it's like, it's this fear of success almost coming in, isn't it? Because who am I going to be if I have money? Are my friends and stuff going to still like me? Are they, you know, what type of person am I going to be? Well, rich people, wealthy people, they're evil, aren't they? That's what I heard. Am I going to be that? And then all the judgment around it, because like you said, it is really hard to come up with that language and say, when someone says, oh, do you want to come out, you know, we're all having a meal or something, and you're like, yeah, if it's easier to say I can't afford it because I don't want to say, well,
Yeah.
actually, I'm prioritizing my business and I'm trying to like
Yeah.
invest in my business so I could be. It's like, oh, it's
Mm,
so hard, isn't it? It's so
yeah,
twisted with so many other things, isn't it? Money is just
100%.
an energy, isn't it? But it's
Yeah.
like everything.
It's literally everything because that's we're being fed. We're consumers, really. So you open a magazine, you turn on the TV, you're being sold to every single minute of the day. So you want to kind of carry this aura that you can afford it. I can afford it. Of course I can afford it. I've got the money. So when those situations come up where you're invited somewhere, it's like you want to go. Sometimes you go to your own detriment, or you just be like, oh, I'll figure it out, or oh, I can't do it. So we don't, like you said, we don't talk about money. It's a big thing. It's a big taboo. It's slowly chipping away. We're slowly chipping away at it, but it's still something that everyone struggles to talk about. Luckily, for me, very young, I wasn't someone who struggled to talk about money. I was very open with my friends, told them how much I earned when no one wanted to talk about how much they earned. And I just did it because I wanted to move around in different career spaces and I wanted to know what people were earning. And no one really wanted to talk about it. I think to this day, I probably only know what two of my friends earn. And I've got a
Really?
good group of friendships because they just don't talk about it. And I'm like, because they have that this stigma, like you said, that tie in what you earn to your self-worth is still there, no matter what we say. I remember at my friendship group when I was in my early 20s, I told people what I was earning and they were shocked. Wasn't earning a lot, by the way. And I was like probably the lowest earner out of my friendship group. And they were shocked that I told them how much I earned. And I said, because it doesn't define who I am. How
Mm,
much, and because I was hoarder and I kind of came away from that, but I still was able to say I got on the property ladder before most of my friends. And they didn't understand how I was earning so little, but I was able to get on the property ladder. It's because my why was bigger than what was coming into my bank account. So I just kept
Yeah.
saving, took on extra jobs, and I got there. I started investing at the age of 18 when no one else was investing. I didn't know what I was doing, by the way, but I started. So as I was really the person to like fail fast. That's the kind of mentality I had. So I think when you have someone in your friendship group, and this is for people out there thinking that, oh, I want to talk openly about money, but my friends don't, be that person to do it. Just have that conversation. If you don't want to mention how much you earn, just talk about how much you spend each month because people can work it out, what your expenses are, and have that genuine conversation. And I think it opens up a really safe space for friends to actually speak to one another so that when you are invited out for a meal and you know it's going to cost X amount, you can be quite confident and say, I haven't got it this month. I like to say, I've used my budget for the month for eating out. I use little things like that, and it gets people thinking like, "Oh wow, she's got a budget for when she goes out to eat," and it almost
yeah.
encourages them to maybe do the same.
Mm,
Sometimes people
yeah.
are scared of missing out, and they just end up spending so much money on food. And I always say there's rice at home, so you know you don't have to go.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's priorities, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not like I can't afford it. It's I have other priorities,
Yeah.
and when you and it's really helpful to think that for yourself and for other people as well, because then it's just got a different feeling about it, hasn't
Mm.
it? But so that you speaking like that actually just makes me really intrigued to like see how did you because you've already given us a little insight into your kind of obviously programmed money beliefs of you started off like with a foot forward, I think it seems. But how did you get into this world? What was it that happened in your life like that got you to be in doing what you're doing now?
So I come from a fashion background. So I was in fashion for about 12 years. And when I started in the fashion, I loved it. It was amazing. The discounts were amazing. And we had a massive auditorium where I worked. And on payday, that auditorium was filled with staff orders. It was like Christmas every payday. And I didn't really buy a lot of stuff for my workplace, maybe once a year on my birthday, 'cause that's who I was. And I kept seeing like my colleagues that became friends just every payday, like bags of stuff. I just had open conversations with them. I was like, because I was living at home, so I could afford to do it. These guys were renters because they weren't from London. And I said to them, how are you guys affording like all these different clothes and, you know, all these different things? And just through having those conversations, a lot of them were in debt. A lot of them were still using a credit card because they really wanted said item. Then I'll go to talk to them about like their future because I was just so future focused at that young age in my 20s. Then they were like, they opted out of their workplace pension. So I was having these conversations with like colleagues and I was just like, wow. And they would always come to me for like unsolicited advice. And I realized I was just coaching people at work without realizing I was coaching them, because I would tell them like, oh, you shouldn't opt out of your workplace pension. If anything, you should try and increase it by at least 1%. I was giving all these tactics because I was reading heavily into like investing. And, you know, by this time I was already invested for about 3 to 4 years at the time. So I was really like wanting to help people. And then I think COVID happened. I was furloughed. So I had all this time, all this money still coming into my bank account, but didn't have to work. And by that time, I already started an Instagram under Natalie Scott Empowers. And it was an empowerment page. That's what it was. And then one day I did a post about finances. I can't remember what the post was, unfortunately, but it did really well. And all these followers came from nowhere. And everyone wanted to know what I was talking about money. Because again, at that time, no one was really talking about money openly. And then, speed it now, 5, 6 years later, I'm still talking about it, but now it's turned more into coaching and finances, not an empowerment page. I just left the name as it is. So I think just through my own upbringing, from being someone that was a hoarder because I thought, you know, the money would never come back, I wanted to hold on to it, then to becoming a great saver, then to becoming to get my first proper job outside of uni, and seeing how everyone else spent their money and just having those really good conversations, it kind of left the door open for me to explore coaching and how to help people just to have a better relationship with money. Because a lot of them were spending money that they didn't have. It was borrowed money. So yeah, I think just through going through those paths in life, that's what I kind of did the 180. I was like, oh, actually, I can teach people how to have a better relationship with their finances through coaching.
That's so cool. It's like you're always meant to do that.
Yeah.
It found you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Literally, it found me. I thought I would stay in fashion for a very long time. Yeah, it's been cool. And even been able to go back to universities and teach fashion and finance. So I put them together. I helped the curriculum. I was like, I want to teach, I don't want to teach fashion. I want to teach finance, employability skills for the students, and was able to make it happen. So even that's been quite exciting being a part of that.
I love that. That's so awesome.
It's
And
brilliant.
like what I hear from you, like when you're talking, like what I can like see and hear from you is that you, I know you had the kind of hoarding stuff and that kind of mentality, but you were always curious about money. You weren't scared
Mm,
of money, were you? And that's like such a big thing
mm,
because for so many people, and you know, like myself included in this, is something I'm trying to work on. Money scares me. Anything about money scares me. If I have to
yeah,
do my accounts, I'm like, oh God, I've got to
yeah,
do my accounts.
yeah.
I've got to look at my money. You know, even
Mm,
when it's a good thing, even when I'm putting like savings and, you know, everything away in my little pockets, I still feel nervous. I'm like, what are you doing? This is actually like a good thing.
yeah.
But money scares me. And I think that's a real difference, isn't it? Like for you, you weren't scared, you were curious. And that's what we need to do, isn't it?
Mm,
Like, do you help people do that side of things
Oh,
as
for
well?
sure. Because again, like you said, a lot of people get very like fearful when it comes to money. And like you said, it's just energy. Like money is not really real. We put our own efforts and value on money. We put that, because before money, we were trading cattle, then it was commodities, and now it's like fiat cash. And now even the fiat is going, it's just like tapping your watch, tapping your phone. So that's why I think like our connection with money is even more disintegrated, because we're not physically touching money anymore. I can't remember when last I've held a note in my hand. And I think because that is happening, it almost feels like money isn't real
yeah,
to some extent.
yeah.
When people are fearful of money, we want to know why. Where's it stemmed from? It didn't come from you. It didn't just like a thought of your imagination. Oh, I'm scared of money. It came from somewhere. It came from what you saw growing up. What did you see your parents? Were your parents frightful over money? Did they cringe every time they got a letter through the post thinking it was going to be a bill, or got a parking ticket again? It's like it's so important that with language. Oh, I keep getting parking tickets. I keep getting fines. You're going to keep getting them because you're speaking that into existence. My dad, great at that. And he always gets them. Every time I go home and visit the parents, there's always a letter, and he always knows that he keeps getting. I said, Dad, you need to change how you speak about these things, because there's so much power in the tongue. So it's almost about reframing how you talk about finances. And in another weird little way, what I used to do, I don't do it as much now, but when the bills used to come, I used to just welcome them, because I'm an adult, I earn a wage, and this is what adults do. We pay bills. I want to keep the light on. I want to be warm at night. So it's like when the bills come, I'm always like, I'm thankful that I'm able to pay this bill.
I like that.
So it's because we have to do it anyway, we might as well be thankful for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of changes everything. Like I get excited when it's payday, or if I got a pay slip coming in from someone. I have a wealth date with myself. I look at the numbers, and I think it's about us getting comfortable with the numbers as well, because I think numbers can be quite scary, quite daunting. Don't want to look at it, but I love it. Like my sister knows when it's payday or anything comes in, she knows I want to sit down with a little glass of wine or green tea, lo-fi music in the background, and I'm looking at, okay, what am I going to do for this with this money next month? Because every month is slightly different apart from your fixed finances. So I think getting into the habit of just having that relationship with your money and being like, where's everything's going to go, and then keeping tabs on it. I'm someone that will check my bank account twice a day. It just becomes something that I do, and some might think, oh, that's a bit weird, but I like to know what's going on with my money at all times. I need to know if a random bill has come out that I don't recognize the name. So again, a lot of us know what's coming in, a lot of us don't know what's coming out.
Yeah.
So get to the habit of looking at your finances, even if you have to print the statement, because a lot of us used to get statements printed to our address. We don't get that anymore. So it's like either you request it or you print one that comes through, or you log into your internet banking, you print it out, you get some highlighter pens. This is quite a fun activity, different colors. Yellow might be for the fixed items, that fixed things that are coming out, fixed expenses. Another color might be for your flexible, that changes each month. And then you start looking through it with a fine tooth comb and just realize, does this all look kosher? Is there anything that I'm not meant to be paying that I am paying? Is there anything that I'm paying twice for? Is there anything that I did a free trial and now it's ended, so now I'm paying? So I think we need to have audits over our finances. And I think once we start doing those little things that can be tedious to start, I think then we get a bit more comfortable with money. So therefore, when the money comes in next month, you know what's coming out. So what's there to be scared of? And then you know if there's anything left over, or there's any pockets of a bit of like movement, oh, I can afford to do X, Y, Z that month. So when that invitation comes round, I'm like, oh, I can actually do that.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, I love all these tips. I know.
It's so powerful, isn't it? Because also, again, like going through your the statement thing as well, like sometimes you can be like, oh my God, I'm actually spending an awful lot on coffees. I didn't realise I
that's
was
true.
spending that
Yeah.
much on coffee. I think we need to do that. It's true, isn't it? Because you just do these things. You, like you said, because you just tap your watch now, you tap your phone. It's too easy, and things creep up slowly, don't they? It becomes a habit, and then it's not until you actually look at your bank statement and go, oh wow, there's the coffee shop highlighter again. We need a whole highlighter colour for our coffees, I think. But also, again, though, like I'm interested to how like you think about this too, is there's a balance, isn't there? Because the thing is, and this is something that I'm trying to put into practice as well, you could look at our bank statement and think, God, you guys spend an awful lot on coffee, but coffee is our joy. Like it's part of our ritual that we do. Like we meet up, we go for the dog walk, we chat about business with our coffee, and we actually take pleasure in it. It's something we look forward to. And so I think, well, I'm good with spending money on that because I actually don't drink alcohol. So that's my thing, you know, like so it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, does it? But I think it's just looking at what you put like your priorities to, isn't it?
Because I never used to drink coffee, and now I really like coffee. So I might make iced coffees now at home because I can do that. But I'm not a barista. I'm not going to make an oat flat white and fail. And I don't want to buy a coffee machine because I'm not at that point yet where I'm drinking coffees every day. But when I have money coming in my account, I will set aside a nice amount each month, and that's for coffee. And it doesn't always get used because I don't drink coffee every day or every week, but it's just having it there to be like, if I want it, it's a guilt-free situation. If I don't want it, it rolls over to the next month. Or if I needed that money for something, there's no problem me taking away from it. So I think like with yourself, if you like coffee, I know my friend, she loves Costa. She'll drink it every day and that's her thing. She's like, I'm not giving up my £5 Costa a day. And I said, don't blame you, but she puts the money aside for it. So there's no guilt and she enjoys it. So I think we shouldn't like take away these little life joys because people, you hear people talking about, I think the last 1 to 2 years, people said, oh, the reason why you can't get in the property ladder because you're having a coffee every day. Complete and utter rubbish, right? Enjoy the small joys because we're still going to drink our coffee anyway. So I think it's just finding those little joys which are important, and that makes you enjoy money too. Because you're being told you shouldn't drink coffee every day because you won't be able to get on the property ladder. Of course, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have no fun in my life. I can't even spend my money how I want to spend it. It's going to take me years to get on the property ladder. So what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't want people to ever get to that point.
Oh God. And I think so many people are at the moment, aren't they? Like you say, with trying to get onto the property ladder, cost of living,
Yeah.
everyone's so bogged down in
Yeah.
that mindset, aren't they? And
Yeah.
as you said, you know, it's not about having your coffee every day that's stopping you. There's more
It's
to it
not.
than that.
And I also think sometimes we're not willing to do what others won't do. For instance, me, been a Londoner all my life, love London to death. I don't live in London anymore. I made that decision to move out of the city because it was stifling. It was
Right.
stifling my creativity. It was becoming very expensive. All my other creators that I speak to or coaches in this space, the ones that don't live in London, they have a much more nicer way of living, quality of life. And then when I took the step and moved out 3 years ago, I haven't looked back. So again, not everyone's going to be willing to uproot and live somewhere else because London's everything. London's the Mecca. You can visit.
Yeah.
You don't have to live there. So because I feel like with me, I've done things that many won't do. And I've always been a person, I think because of my hoarder mentality, I've always lived below my means. And maybe that was because I wasn't earning a lot of money in the beginning, so I had no choice to. But because I built that muscle of living below my means, even when I was earning a lot of money or am earning a lot of money, because I'm so used to living below my means, I'm able to save and invest a lot of money each month because that's my priority. But if you've never been able to strengthen any of those muscles of saving or just like living below your means, then of course, when you earn more money, you're going to have this lifestyle inflation creep right behind your butt. And you're always going to like, when you get a bonus or pay rise, you're going to want to be like, oh, what can I spend it on? Because you're being sold to, right? Consumerism. So I think even with coaching, I deal with coaches, I deal with clients that have a lot of money, that earn a lot of money, and they're the most fearful of it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I had that money, I wouldn't be fearful at all. But I understand that for them, from what they saw in their childhood, they never saw anyone earning that kind of money. Like what you mentioned, Tash, about, oh, you know, rich people, evil, and oh gosh, you know, they don't want to help anyone. So imagine you now becoming the person that you didn't want to become. You're not earning all this money, and it's like you don't know how to function. You kind of want to spend it all because you don't want to be attached to it. So it's almost about retraining that, which is very different for me because my story is completely different. But it's so nice to meet different people in this space that have different starting points. And we all want to get to the same end goal. We all want to be happy with money, no matter how much we have. We want to be able to be in control of it. So yeah, it's very interesting when you meet people that have a lot of money, but they're scared of it as well.
Yeah.
That is like,
That's
oh my God,
crazy,
I
isn't
see
it?
exactly the same
Yeah.
thing, you know, like, and it makes me realize that actually sometimes it's really good, well, not sometimes, all the time, in my opinion, it's best to do the identity work, the money mindset work, you know, all of that kind of subconscious work before you start actually trying to earn the money and having more money. Do it where you are now, because the fear will always be the same. I've seen it. I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in the clients that I work with. It doesn't matter how much you earn. It doesn't matter how secure you are. It doesn't matter how much material things you have. If you have those original fears, they're gonna be there, and it's gonna be worse because it's bigger stakes, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like all of a sudden, if you've got millions in the bank, you've got millions to lose.
Yeah.
And you're still living from that fear, aren't you? Or
Yeah.
like, or everything's just higher up. So if you've got a certain expectation on yourself, because this is how much I have to earn to be worthy, you've got that much more to be worthy. That's no fun. That's like, it's hardcore,
Yeah.
isn't
And do you
it?
think people that have got a lot of money, they think, well, it's worked for me having this mindset. It's got me this far. It's got me a lot of money. So it's been, you know, maybe I should stay on that train.
Maybe, but I don't think they're happy.
No.
I think in the end, I think at the end of it all, everyone just wants to be happy, money or
Yeah.
not. You just want to be in a good space mentally, physically. And some people think money brings them that, but it doesn't if your mindset's not in the way it needs to be. It's going to bring you stress.
Yeah.
It's going to bring you stress, all the negative connotations that come with having a lot of money but not knowing what to do with it. It might bring you the wrong set of friends, the wrong set of people around you. So I think having a really like positive mindset and not
Yeah.
just money, just in general, being positive, outlook in life. That's more important than money, because money comes and goes. Money comes
Yeah.
and goes. So I think that's more important.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we all just kind of we're after the same thing, aren't we? We put so much of like what we want and all the things that we think we want, we put it on money, but it's not money like that we want peace. We want to feel safe. We want to feel security. We want happiness. We want freedom. And we just think that money gives us that. Now, obviously we'd be stupid to say that money can't give you that, because we know it can, but it doesn't. If you're not feeling it inside, it's never gonna satisfy that need, is it? You're never really gonna have it. And that's why it's like I love and I see, and I don't know whether you agree and you see it in your world, but it's really not about like we said before, it's not about the money, is it? It's about finding those feelings like within yourself first, and then when you feel that, you're not relying on money, and then that's when money can come to you. Like obviously, like there's a whole load of stuff like you said with working around the programming and money as well, but a lot of it's about kind of detaching your feelings and emotions from the money, isn't it?
Yeah, which is so hard for people to do. I've seen it in like friends, family. It's very hard to detach yourself from money, because again, it's that self-worth that is trying to hold on and keep you tight. But it can be very detrimental to everything. The best thing you can do is detach yourself from it. And I think once you do that, you start to live a happier life, you have more peace. But it's not easy. I think I've gotten to the point where I've detached myself from money, actually. Because again, it comes and goes. And if I want money, I know what to do to get it. If I'm having a slow day in business, I know what I need to do to get money coming back in. So I think it's that whole parable of you can feed a man fish, or you can teach him how to fish. So I think when you come from that train of thought, you always will be fine. But a lot of people haven't, because again, a lot of people don't have the time in their day to do the work. They're just like, every day is the same day, every week's the same week. They're literally on a conveyor belt. And unless someone they see in passing, or they go to an event and someone's talking about money mindset, that it might pique their interest, but they're not looking for it until maybe it's too late. So I think, whereas me, I'm quite conscious. I've always been quite conscious of how the mind works, how money works. I've always read the books, the self-help books, and put it into practice, whereas many people don't do that. So I think that's why the work that we're doing here is so important. And trying to get it to many people. 'Cause some people think it might be a bit ooh la la, manifestation, money mindset. Oh, that seems a bit fickle. But once you actually start doing it and applying it to your life, to your finances, then you actually see the rewards that you reap from it.
Yeah, and it makes sense, doesn't it? You're just like, oh yeah, this isn't like woo woo. This actually makes sense, and it works. And yeah, and I think with you, like it's people like you. We need talking. It's why you can see it's why you're doing what you're doing, because you do have that in you where you had the ability to be able to detach from money and be curious around money. Because and it's funny because you make me think of when you're talking and stuff, you remind me of Chris, you remind me of my husband. He's like you, he's always just been curious about money. He loves the numbers. He loves getting into the details. He's not scared of money. He's not scared to talk about money, and he has no emotional attachment to money. And he's so freaking successful with money because of that. And I look at him and I'm like, oh, I just really want to be like you. And it's just like, I've learned so much from him. But at first he triggered the hell out of me, because he would just say things just really like neutrally, like really bluntly. And I'm like, oh, how could you say that? Like, there's so much attachment and feeling and emotion here for me, and you're just talking about it like it's nothing. Like, oh, it really triggered me until I started getting into kind of this world, and I realized, and I study him because I'm like, I see what you're doing. But the things that he does, the things that you're doing, like you said, where you're like, you've got your highlighters out, and you're marking everything off. You love, it's a nice thing for you. You got your wine and like your music and
like,
stuff.
it's lovely.
You want to do that. That's easy to you. You want to do it because of how you see money.
Yeah.
And like I know for other people that haven't got the money beliefs sorted and stuff, like they're not going to want to do that.
not
Their
gonna wanna do
subconscious
it.
mind's going to go, I don't want to do that. I'm scared.
Yeah.
That's not me. I don't find that fun. Like
No.
you reading the books about money and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not interested in reading books about investments. You are, because you see it in a different way. But like, I feel like what I want people to really know is that it's not you now. But if you do the money mindset work and you start peeling back the limiting beliefs and all of that, suddenly you will be drawn to want to get those highlighters out and do that thing and read that book on the investing and the money. It's amazing, isn't
100%.
it?
Yeah, 100%. And it's like what I said in the beginning, that I can teach you how to do X, Y, Z, right? All day. And you'll probably go off and do it. And then the next week you won't. So that's why with me, it's always about the why. Why do you have this relationship with money? And once we start unpeeling those layers and I hold your hand through it, by the end of it, you'll be like me with the wine and the spreadsheet, because it does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's the most exciting thing. Some people have like this get rich quick mentality, and they also have to give me the answer mentality right now. I want the answer. Money mindset isn't like that. You've had so many years to develop as a person, and you've got these really like set in stone ideologies of what money is. And then me, I'm supposed to change that in one night. It's not going to happen like that. So yeah, once they're open to it, that's the thing. If you're not open to it, like I've had clients I've had to turn away. I said, I don't think you're ready. Because if I'm the coach and I'm doing most of the work, that doesn't work. It feels like I'm training myself again. So I think you have to be open for the process and ready for it, because it's not an easy one. It's going to be very uncomfortable. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to be uprooted, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't think that this was the reason why, but it is. And that can be uncomfortable for people to unearth.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's so cool what you're doing though, isn't it? Because yes, it's about money, but you're doing so much more than that, aren't you? And it's just like a sneaky little way to do what you're doing, Tash, as well. Just reprogramming that mind and getting people back into their bodies to feel these things.
Yeah, because you do have to be, at a certain stage to be ready to work with money, don't you? I totally agree with you. And do you find like going into kind of the manifestation side of things, like creating money, like you have to be willing to see reality in a different way from how other people see it, don't you? Like your friends would be saying stuff to you, going, "Oh," or parents, or whatever, partners, maybe, "Oh, you can't do it like that. That's not the way it's done." Do you know what I mean? You're almost battling against beliefs in real time as well, aren't you?
Yeah, because everyone is different. And most people in the UK will have a set of ideologies compared to somebody in, I don't know, Asia. Everyone's ideology of money is different. So if you live in the UK and you're going to come across a lot of work people at work, people in your family, they're going to probably tell you the same thing when it comes to money. Oh, you can't do that. That's not, because it's not been done. They haven't seen it being done. So as a coach, you're trying to tell them that, well, it can be done, because there is a small minority that do it, but it's that you haven't been exposed to them. I'm one of them. So just listen. So that takes a while to get through to people. And even as you're going through the work and you're positive, you might share it with someone because you're excited to share it. And they still might give you that pushback of, oh, don't know about that. But it's for you to really build your muscle to a point where if you do get the negativity coming towards you, you'll be able to push it out. And that takes time and a lot of resilience. It's not easy.
No, it's not, is it? You're right. Like all of this work, it's not easy. It's amazing and it's so worth it, but it isn't easy. And you do have to have courage, and you have to have a certain amount of like, I don't give a shit kind of attitude, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're going to get knocked down at the first hurdle. And it, like you said, it's about repetition. You've learned these programs and practiced them for decades, more than likely. People are coming to you. And so it's not going to be undone in overnight, or even in a course of a few weeks and months. It's got to be continual practice, hasn't it? Which takes stamina as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But it's so rewarding at the end of it once you do it. Because once you start building that muscle and training yourself that, okay, this is what is actually possible for me, and these are my parameters to do it in. Once you start doing that, people can come to you with their ideologies, people can come to you with their negativity, and you literally water off a duck's back. You don't even engage with it, because that's where I am now. Especially like leaving my hometown, living somewhere else, kind of away from everybody. I kind of dip in when I need to. And the most important thing as well is when you're teaching this to clients, you want to start making sure that they start surrounding themselves with people that are also on the same wavelength as them. Because although you can teach someone everything, and yeah, you can, oh, don't listen to the noise, don't listen to the noise, there might be a moment where you kind of surrender to it because you're human and it's what you're used to. So when you're training your mindset and you're trying to become this new person, I always say, try to go to events where people are talking about personal finance, because I'm just doing the mindset side of things. Now I need you to put that into practice. Go to certain events, go to wealth investing events, property, whatever you're interested in, go to these events and be around people that are actually doing better than you. You don't want to always be the smartest person in the room. And I think once people start to do that and see what's possible, then I think it clicks that, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one that is about this life of mindset, because all those people in the room that are successful and that have done the work, they will all talk to you about mindset. Because without the mindset, where would they be? So I think you have to put yourself in those places to be comfortable and not feel like the odd one out.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's so important, isn't
for
it?
sure.
Because like you said, I think you said earlier, you touched on it, like if you think about in terms of kind of like creating your reality, where you're resonating at, where your frequency is, like where you are, typically people are going to be matching your frequency and your beliefs, and their external realities are going to be the same as yours. So you're seeing one particular reality when it comes to money, let's just say. I mean, so that's where your beliefs are sitting, isn't it? That's like the little cage that's of possibilities for you. When you do what you said, you start going out, you start making sure that everyone you're hanging around with is above you. You're not the biggest kind of fish in the pond. You start seeing a new level of reality, a new level of normal, don't you? And you're like, oh right,
Mm.
well, oh, this is possible because she's doing it over there, and she's doing it, and they're just talking about it like it's nothing. And that's when you start breaking the realities of your beliefs and the possibilities, isn't it? And then that allows you to step into that, because you can't, if you don't know it's possible, unfortunately the way we work,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. It's like the what is it,
The
the 6-minute
mile.
mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, that couldn't have been done until one person did it, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
everyone's breaking it because now it's possible.
Mm.
It's just, that's such an important thing with money, isn't it? I do think it has a huge like
Oh,
repercussion.
100%. Because
Yeah.
if, like, for instance, everyone in your family are like, I don't know, manual labor workers, and you think that's all that's possible for you, or they only earn 30K, you think that's what's possible for you, then for you now stepping out on your own, if someone offers you 25K, you're going to take it. If someone offers you like minimal benefits, you're going to take it because, well, that's what my family have always taken.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And that's what it becomes, that rhetoric of this is who we are, this is what we do. But no, because the new generation starts with you. So you have to put yourself in those situations. Because I came from a very humble beginnings. Breadwinner was the dad, mum didn't have to work. But we were all right. We weren't rich, but we were all right because we made do. So me being a hoarder, like, oh gosh, money might not come back. That was just me, like, scarcity and not knowing where the next money would come in, even pocket money. Because my dad worked for himself, but even though he worked for himself as a labourer, there were times where he would have to subcontract, and then there'll be times where he wouldn't be working for a bit. So me growing up seeing that, even though he didn't feel like he didn't work for a bit, because there was always food on the table, clothes on our back, because they shielded us, as parents should do. They shielded us from what was really going on. But I grew up thinking, okay, have to save, don't want to be in that situation. If I am in that situation, I have my emergency fund, I'll be fine. So all those things that I saw growing up, it was only until I think 17 is when I went to like these win and pin events, and I started investing at 18. Then I realized, actually, I don't think my mum and dad even invest. The only thing I knew was I invest in property. That's all my family did. And then I did it because you do what the family does. So
Yeah.
for you now, my generation would be, okay, if I have children, you need to start investing at 18 in the stock market, because that's something that is still new to my family. So it's like, take what you want from your family, mix it up and add better on it for the next one. And
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And start rubbing shoulders with people that you wouldn't usually rub shoulders with. And because I did it at such an early age, I think that kind of propelled my mindset to get it to abundance quicker than maybe most people. And that's why when I was at my first work, I was always talking about money and mindset because I was exposed to it at a younger age. Whereas most people don't get that exposure because, again, I was curious cat. I wanted to know everything. I was obsessed with rich people when I was young. I was like, how do they afford to drive that car? I want to know. And
Yeah.
I want to be in the car too. So I kind of
Got
had
your
that
list.
mentality growing up. And that's why I went to these events and just being exposed to things. And I'm like, it would be so great if children, that's why doing the work in university is just to be exposed to different experience and just know that the world literally is your oyster. And people say it's actually true, because you can only gain what you can think. If you think it's possible, you can do it. When you think about all these rich people that have created things and done really well, it's because they had the audacity to dream and say, I can do it. So why can't you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's
Oh,
so true.
thank
It's
you
so
for
true.
that.
We
I've
all
got
need to be more
tingles when you were
curious.
talking.
But you gotta, like, you're just so right. Again, like, and I
Right.
see this with my husband. He's always like, I want that. How do I get it?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'll never have that, or oh, that's
Oh.
going to be too hard. No, I want that, and I will be sat in that car, or I will be doing that thing.
100%.
And it is. It's like, I've
Yeah.
seen it. It works. It's working for Natalie. It's
Yeah.
worked for Chris. Like, you've just got, like you said, you've got to have the audacity. You're no different from that person who sat in a £1 billion house or whatever with like yachts and all that. They had some good programming. They had curiosity, and they had the audacity to go, well, I want it and I'll have it.
Yeah, I
And
think
it's-
for me, that was my dad. Just watching my dad. He always had anything he wanted. Anything he wanted, he got it. And I obviously didn't know the ins and outs growing up of how much he earned, but he just always, and then he was a car person, and I'm a car person too because of him. So growing up, watching him always have like the nicest car in the family, the nicest car on the road, I kind of wanted that. And then I got to a point where I did get a nice car. Me and my dad had matching cars. He had the newer version, I had the older one. But even with that, I was very materialistic though. That was an issue for me, because I was like living out a dream of my dad. Like if I had a nice car, my dad would be proud of me. He would like tell his friends, like when his friends would come over, oh, whose car is that? Oh, it's my daughter's car. It's like, oh my God, my dad's so proud of me. And then it was only when I realized that, when does it stop? If I don't have the car, will my dad still be proud of me? Probably. You know what I mean? So I got rid of the car. And all my friends are like, oh my God, you got rid of your car. Like, what's wrong with you? Or what are you going to get next? Mate, I drive a 2008 Yaris. And people are like, you sold this and now you're driving that. It's because I had like a 360 in my mind. I was just like, when I had all those materialistic things, people thought I was that person, right? They probably thought I earned, I don't know, 100K minimum a year. And again, it's a whole looking rich. At the time, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was just trying to please my dad. But then I realized that it doesn't actually matter, because now, yeah, I drive a little hoopty, as I like to call it, but I know what my investments look like. I know what my savings look like. I know if I wasn't working or wasn't doing this, I'd be okay for at least 6 months. So it's like having that security is a whole nother level than having any kind of materialist stuff that you can ever have. And this is why I'm struggling with the bag of the holiday.
Yeah.
For the end of my penny challenge. But yeah, I had to bring that up, because I was materialistic growing up, because I wanted to please my dad, and I thought that's how you do it. Like everyone has nice cars, it's a rite of passage. But yeah, I'm a new person. I'm a new person now.
No, thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
because that's such an important point. Now, for everything we've spoken about, it's kind of like you brought it full circle, haven't you? And it is like you've had that, you've done the things, and you hear this story so much, don't you? Which is why you hear lots of wealthy people driving around in, cars like that, because they don't care. It's not,
No.
they've lost it, haven't you? Because you have it and you realise, you see through it, you see why you're doing it, and then it doesn't mean anything. Like you said, like you've become detached
Yes.
from all the things that money kind of stands for, and that is the self-worth stuff, and the like how you look, and most importantly, like what you said there, is you were trying to please your dad, you're trying to make him proud, because you've just showed again that's where it always comes down to. You got to get back to your childhood, haven't you? Because it's
Always.
the most surprising and simple things, isn't it? Like what are you trying to do with that money? Who are you trying to please? Who are you trying to prove something to? Or what are you trying to like protect yourself from? We've spoken about this, everyone knows, like listening, my biggest thing is like is fear of not surviving. Basically, I've got such a deep, and I still haven't really figured out exactly where that's come from in my childhood, but it's kind of become irrelevant, because I know I will have heard or experienced something in my childhood where I thought, oh my God, if I don't have money, I'm going to be homeless on the streets. By the way, I never experienced anything like that, anything in my childhood. I had a very, very, I had everything I wanted. We didn't have loads. We weren't like, rich or flashy, but I did always have everything I wanted. I also saw my dad work very hard. He had 2 jobs. He'd go out, work in the day, and then come home, have something to eat, and go work on the doors at night. And so for me, I grew up with money's hard to earn.
Yeah.
I have to work
It's gotta be
hard
difficult,
to
yeah.
earn money. It's got to be difficult.
Mm.
And it took me a lot to break through that, which I've done that now. Like, I get that. I've worked through that myself and I've done it, but I still have that deep. My root one, like yours was with your dad, is like, oh, I'm just not going to survive. I'm going to be homeless on the streets. And it's just like, it's hardcore because that's our safety, right? Like that's everything. But I know it's come from my childhood somewhere, and like, to just to go back to your point, it's when you can hit that now I know whenever I have that fear about money, whether that's checking my accounts, like looking at my bank balance, or making a purchase, maybe an investment or something, and I feel that fear, I know straight away, oh, you're feeling this because you're scared that you're going to be homeless on the streets. You're not. Chill the fuck out. You're not, like, calm down. But it gives you something tangible, doesn't it, to kind of like act on when you're feeling all these things about money.
Oh gosh.
No, it does. It really does. But and the beautiful thing about all of this is that you can change it. A lot of people think that, oh, this is just who I am. This is what we do. And it's like, well, you can change it. You can reinvent yourself every, I don't know, 2 working days if you wanted to. So, yeah, it can. And that's the beautiful thing. Change is good and it can happen, and it can happen for you. Many people think, oh, no, it can't happen for me. But it can. If you want it to, it can.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Right, just before we end this episode, we're talking to you. Yes, you, the one who consumes everything, podcasts, books, courses, but still can't embody it. If you know what to do, but you can't seem to actually do it, that's not a motivation problem. It's a subconscious safety problem. So we made a free 12-minute audio called Return to Self to calm your system and bring you back into alignment so things finally start working. Link in the show notes.
You're awesome.
You are awesome. It's such a fun conversation as well, which I love, because I want
to make money fun.
Yes, exactly. Like, that's what we need to do, don't we? We need to have more fun around money, like more playfulness, more curiosity. So thank you, because I feel like this episode is like, it's done that. Before we go, is there anything that you would like to leave our audience with all the work you've done, like what you've done with people, what the work you've done on yourself? What would you like them to take away? One most important thing.
Ooh, that is a hard one. Ooh, got me on the spot now. I think, oh yeah, I say this to everybody actually, is that you're not to blame for your money mindset. You're not to blame for the relationship that you currently have with money. If anything, your childhood is to blame. But we can forgive our childhood so that we can have a better future with our relationship with money.
Awesome.
Love that. Natalie, where can people find you?
So you can find me on all social media platforms under Natalie Scott Empowers. I'm always on TikTok, I'm always on Instagram, and I'm also on LinkedIn as well.
Nice. Perfect.
Awesome.
Lovely. Well, we'll put all your details in the show notes anyway, so people can head there and find you. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a good conversation. Sometimes I don't get these opportunities to just talk about money mindset in an open space like this. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
Oh, we love listening to you.
We did. It was brilliant. Thank you so much. Right, guys, that is it for another week. We will see you next week. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.